Hi guys, it's me. Just in response to your feedback about dependent prepositions, not really having a chance to actually explore them, I thought that I'd do a short video for you showing you dependent prepositions in use. So I've chosen a film review, Love Actually, which is a classic romantic comedy by British director Richard Curtis. And there's some great examples of dependent prepositions in here. Now, the first thing to know is that dependent prepositions are prepositions that you normally see with a word. For example, if we have the preposition look, then we have look for, okay? Look into, look over, okay? So these are examples of prepositions. So depending on what you're saying, depends on which preposition you're using, okay? Now, you can have prepositions with nouns. So, for example, I took the blame for breaking the window. You can have it with adjectives and passives. I was accused of breaking the window. Okay, then you have an example with a verb. For example, the politician ran for president. Okay, so to run for office, to run for president, when you want to be that person and you start campaigning, telling everybody, I want to do this job. So we have lots of examples. So anyway, let's crack on with the review. Alright, so if you look where I've highlighted, we'll go to the second paragraph. We've got the first one, which is an adjective, and it's to be responsible. Okay, so the writer responsible for something. So in a prison, the guards are responsible for making sure the prisoners are well and the prisoners do not escape. Okay, who was responsible for breaking the window? Alright, then if we move along, we've got of the last 10 years. Then we've got the biggest British hits of the last 10 years. So when we're talking about the last 10 years, the preposition we use is of, the something of the last 10 years. You can have another preposition if you want to use 10 years as a time phrase. You can say, in the last 10 years, I have studied 3 languages. So in that example, it's in the last 10 years. That would be your preposition, in. Moving on, we've got the third line. So we've got the verb to blend. Blend is a synonym verb of mix. So when you make cake, you mix water and flour. Okay, so here we've got the verb to blend. So you blend ambition with good sense. So blend something with something, mix something with something. Moving on, we've got the noun, which is part. So a part of my job is to mark your homework. Parts of the movie were boring. Okay, and again after that we've got with, which connects blend ambition with excellent experienced actors, rising young stars. So you're blending one thing with another. Moving on to the next paragraph. Oops. Okay, so we've got a passive structure there. Okay, we've got 10 stories intertwined, which are connected by. So it's loosely connected by, which are loosely connected by. So you're connected, one thing is connected by another thing. Okay, then the next one we've got is falling for the tea girl. So if you suddenly meet someone and you think they're wonderful and your heart starts fluttering, okay, we say you fall for someone. So if you're going to use the verb to fall, okay, it's to fall for someone. Obviously we have the synonym to fall in love with. So there it's to be in love with, to fall in love with. So in that structure it would be, the preposition would be in. But the synonym phrase is to fall for someone. That moment when you suddenly realize you love them. Alright, Now the next one is the verb to grieve. It's a synonym of mourn, M-O-U-R-N. And when somebody dies and you feel very sad, you grieve over their death. So the preposition is to grieve over. Okay. Now the next line is to long for. So it's a verb, to long for. Okay. So if you miss somebody or if you want somebody but they don't want you, we say you long for them. Okay. At the moment, what am I longing for? I'm longing for a holiday. That's what I'm longing for. So that preposition and that verb go together. When we talk about countries, we use the preposition in. I live in England. I work in Southampton. You study in England. So here it's in France. Obviously, if you're moving, your dependent preposition would be to or from. I'm moving to France. I'm moving away from France. The next one we've got is the fourth line. And blighty is a very British word for Britain. It's another way of saying Britain, blighty, but it's very British. So recognize it now, but you don't need to use it. It's very old-fashioned. But again, because blighty means Britain and Britain's a place, it's in. On the same line, we've got the verb to head to somewhere, and that means to go from one place to another. Okay, so I flew from the UK to America. Okay, I headed from the UK and I headed to America. So with that verb, it's like go. So the preposition is to. On the final line, again, we have to fall for somebody. In the next paragraph, we've got a cover of. So if I decide I want to make a song, I want to sing Gangnam Style or Lady Gaga, Bad Romance. I didn't sing it first. So if I make a CD of somebody else's song, it's called a cover. The verb is to cover. So a cover of this song. I covered a song. I did a cover of Bad Romance. I did a cover of Psy's Gangnam Style. Alright, let's move on. Okay. Now in the next paragraph, we've got fluency. So we're talking about the fluency of something. The fluency of. So fluency here is a noun. So it's the fluency of Altman's work, Robert Altman's work. Okay. Now the final one we've got in that paragraph is in a tear duct tingling scene. That just means a scene in a movie where you cry. Okay. So it's in a scene. When we talk about movies, it's in a scene. You could say during a scene, but if you're going to use a preposition, you can use in a scene. Okay. Okay, and that's it.